Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. You know, the question is often put forward, why is it that evangelicals support Trump? And even when it comes down to people who have done some things that many people have considered most egregious, they are seen to be accepted by people who are evangelicals. I just put it this way. You have them in white supremacy, you have them everywhere. And you act as if you don't understand why. Well, I'll tell you this. The most shocking thing is that even when you talk about evangelicals, you've got black evangelicals supporting Trump and all of this. But I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is no mystery. This is a mystery only to those who live in darkness. The reason that evangelicals are where they are because they are doing what they do best in serving their God. Now, the question is, whose God are they serving? Who is their God? Well, ask yourself this. You got poverty in America and poverty all over the world. What is the evangelicals' position on that? You have crime and violence, not just in this state and all over America, but all over the world. What's the evangelicals' position on that? Is it the New World Order? Here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen, because I can go through that all day. Evangelicals' God are those, or is that, which they fear. They do not fear God that they can't see, can't touch. Oh, the God of the book that they read about, that's all front. That's all front material. It's just a script, front material. Now, is it real? Did it ever happen? Is it true? I don't know. I'll just tell you this. Based upon my ability to stand before you and testify of a power that I can't see, that I can't touch, that I can't feel, but have observed the evidence thereof. And based upon that evidence, I can tell you that that power, which I do call God, is capable of doing anything. People say, can a woman have a baby without artificial insemination or a man? In other words, can a spirit get in a body, a human body, and cause a pregnancy that develops into a birth? And I'll tell you without biting my tongue, yes. Did it happen? I don't know. Can it happen? Of course it can. You ask, can a bush burn and don't be consumed? I don't know whether that happened or not. Can it happen? You better bet your last life on it. I tell you, baby, this power that I'm telling you about is powerful. But see, the evangelicals don't know anything about that. See, the evangelicals got the word and the written word, and they heard it. They got the written word, and they heard it. They read in the book that Christopher Columbus discovered America. They heard that their teacher said it. Then every time the test asked, they wrote down Christopher Columbus. Did anybody else discover America? You better put down Christopher Columbus, even if it did. And so that's what they do. That's what they did. When it comes down to God, they do like their faith leads them to do. In other words, make a long story short, evangelicals' God is the founding fathers. And beyond the founding fathers is, well, and I'm talking about Americans. Now, the other people, I'm sure, is almost the same thing, but not Americans. The other idea is that if anything is to be better, it's after you die. If anything is to be better, it's after you die. Evangelicals have bought into that. Evangelicals have no idea that God made this world. They just see it here. They heard that God made it, but they have no concept of that. All the things that the earth can do, and for the benefit of all living things, they see it. They read about it, heard about it, stuff like this, but they can't get it to God. They got no explanation for it. But they can't give it to a God power because they got no concept of what a God power is. You start looking at these rich people, how they go into places and send people into different other areas of the world and telling them about a God, a passive God, a God that sits back and let you laugh in their face, talk to them, find out everything you can about them, and then backdoor them, undermine everything, to take from them everything you possibly can, and to make you bow to their. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. In America, most of us know the Indian story, the native story. We try to deny the black story. But they didn't mind telling you about the Indians. I mean, they put it all on TV. They showed you how they lied and cheated and called Indians savages while they and wiped them out almost. Got them on plantations and drinking alcohol and stuff. That's exactly what every race who calls themselves superior wants. Everybody else to bow to them. And why is it that? Because that's the anti-God. The anti-God wants everybody else to disassociate themselves from peace, from prosperity, from joy. Oh, they talk about it that they want it, but they don't get on any plan that would guide you toward that direction. Everything they do is, it might not want to, like they want to jump over on the other side so fast, but gradually each step they take leads you over that way. Right now you can see, and I'm just jumping ahead now, how the President of the United States is playing games with them. He's just lying his butt off, and everybody else is just buying those lies. And as you were talking about, the evangelicals over there now supporting those lies. But I'm going to tell you this. They are all lies. And if they gave you, each of you, freedom, your freedom would not be freedom. It would be freedom under their bondage cues. I can't get angry because I know you don't know. When you see the devil, and I'm not talking about some horned, fork-tongued, tailed figure. I'm talking about a two-legged individual looking just like you and I. When you see a devil standing up, and you know that's the devil, and that devil stands up on a platform and tells the people a whole concocted lie, and the people buy into it like chewing gum, and you sit there and you look at that, and you can't do a thing about it. Not one thing about it. You look and say, why they buy that? They say, well, there was people who don't know God couldn't defend God, and so the people who don't know God just took over. And seemingly all of the blessings, material blessings, whatever, seems to come from the anti-God. Latching on to the anti-God. You got a job, if you don't have your own business, your own personal business that's disassociated from the establishment, then everything belongs to anti-God. Anti-God is taking control of everything that has value, the oil, the other minerals of the earth, and what they're used for, and how they are put together, and distribution, and all of these things. The anti-God has taken control because there was nobody to defend the proper way. And if you, as I was saying, if you want a job, you got to work for the anti-God. If you want to preach, the anti-God got to approve you. You can't go out there and tell the people the truth. You have one member, and you'll be doing that in your living room, talking to yourself to a camera, like I'm doing to you right now. That's when the anti-God is in control. And I don't care how many individuals stand up here and there and try to tell the people in darkness that they have been lied to. It's not going to matter. The thing that can have some value is if that person that stands up and say you've been lied to, challenge the system. I mean, don't just say the system is screwed up. Stand up in ways that exposes the system for being, as you said. But don't just do that. Bring the solution. Bring the solution. I know there are going to be times they're going to try to keep you from saying it. They're going to try to undermine everything you say. But that's not your job to worry about that. Your job is just to do it. Your job is to do it. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, that spirit that I tell you about, that you can't see, can't touch, can't feel, will take that activity that you have done and carry it where it is supposed to go. Now, that doesn't mean that your message can have such a destructive result on darkness by opening up the light and bringing in the light that they might kill your butt. But in that situation, in that time or this time, whenever that time occurs, it's the greatest thing that could ever happen. Some people say, well, we got my anniversary coming up, my birthday coming up, Valentine's Day coming up, New Year's coming up, Christmas coming up. But that is your day. That is the day when you move from hell to heaven. That is the day when you move from death to life. And it happens before you leave this hell. You feel that heaven. It comes to you. Now, I want to tell you, you can't understand it, but it goes something like this. When you stand up for what's right, you will know it. Some people like to say, well, if you're doing something good, people will accept it. No, not necessarily. If it has no real value. I mean, people might like it, but if it has no real value, sure, they'll draw it into it. But you start talking about having some real value, people are afraid of it. Because people's jobs, grants that people get. You got presidents right now telling people who to fire, who to suspend. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before. But we've become such a wicked people, such a people so far from God, until we are in hell. Wow. And I brought all my kids into this hell, and seemingly have no other way to defend them no other way. Neither do you. If you want peace, prosperity, and joy, if not for yourself, but for your offspring, but then how could you care about your offspring? Nah, you don't care about your offsprings, but God does. And so he's reaching out. God is reaching out to that dormant God asleep in you. Wake up, Lord. Wake up. Don't let them kill you. Brother, spirit man, you hear me. I know you're covered with all material thoughts. You're covered with the training of society. I know it's a horrendous thing on you. It's probably trying to choke the life out of you, but I know, and you know that can't happen. And you will not rise up until you are invited. But be real always. Stay alive, stay alert. Because those of us on the outside are calling to you. We are standing in the gap until that time comes when perhaps the light is sprung and you are freed to be who you truly are. I call on you. I wait on you. Oh, spirit man that you are. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so very much for giving me this your time. This is, again, Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, meaning I want every human being on the face of the earth to live free, to be able to do what they want to do, and have no desire whatsoever to cause any pain or suffering on anyone else, and are able to do it. This is the day that I'm looking for. This is the time now that I'm living for. Bye-bye.